Hi, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short video clip. I promise you it'll be well worth your time. My name is Coach Frank Dolan. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist as well as a speed coach. I'd like to start out by telling you a little bit about my story. When I was young, I was a baseball player and had lots of knee problems. I was in physical therapy for years and actually had surgery by the age of 12. After that, I was told that I probably wouldn't continue to play baseball through high school. And due to the rehab and training that I did, I was able to play 4 years of high school baseball. Went to Cortland and then transferred to Brockport, where I played 4 years of college baseball up at SUNY Brockport in upstate New York. So I think the reason why I do what I do is my belief in my experience that strength and conditioning is very, very important to the athleticism and to be able to be the best possible athlete that you can be. With that being said, when I was in college, I hit 410 my senior year, and I don't say that to brag. I want to let you know that I went to a couple of pro tryouts after that year and didn't even get a chance to hit or field at those tryouts. My running speed was clearly my weakest link. The first thing you do at a pro tryout is that you're going to run a 60-yard dash, and I didn't even get a chance to show my skills to the scouts because my weakest link was that speed. I did end up continuing on and playing. I played in Italy that summer. I played in Marina di Ravenna, which is a small town in Italy, right off the Adriatic Sea. And as you can see, they don't take care of the baseball diamond as well as they do the soccer pitch. But it was a great experience over there. That's me in the middle in the dugout. So when I came home, I started teaching some hitting lessons. And what I started to find was that I wasn't able to physically get a lot of the kids and athletes I was working with. I wasn't able to get them to physically do what I wanted them to do in the lesson. And that led me to look into more performance training models and get mentored by great strength and conditioning coaches and performance coaches such as Mike Boyle, Mark Verstegen, and Lee Taft, pictured here, and really kind of set me off on a path of, instead of just managing the health club and instead of just teaching hitting lessons, now I became more performance minded and started to work more just with athletes on their athleticism. So from my background of being injured as a young athlete and then going through what I did after college and not being able to continue my baseball career, I think that's what's led me to become a strength and conditioning coach and a speed coach, because that these opportunities were not available for me at the time. So now we run a club together. I run this club, All for Sports and Fitness, with my dad. It has the traditional treadmills, ellipticals, and machines like a regular health club. And then we have more performance-minded areas, where like our performance training area pictured here. We do run adult fitness boot camps where we train 4 days a week. We actually, in the summertime, take everyone over to the beach, so it's a lot of fun. And here are some of the high schools that we've worked with in the past. Every sport from football, lacrosse, soccer, some of the colleges we work with. And then, the opportunities that we've had over the last couple of years with Major League Strength. My good friend and business partner, Dana Cavaglia, he's the strength and conditioning specialist for the New York Yankees, and we've worked together with the baseball factory to really help enhance some of the baseball factory's performance. And I was actually fortunate enough to go down and work with Dana in 2008 with the Yankees in spring training. So I've had some really great experiences. So with all that being said, I'd like to get into some of the speed training and athletic development that we do. Some of the problems that I see on a day-to-day basis is, I love the social media aspects and the way that YouTube and Facebook and all these things are kind of promoting and getting the education out there on how people need to train for speed and for performance. But at the same time, sometimes with that education can get kind of confused. And I see it, that usually it's either that the athletes have no foundation of movement before they do the training, or it's just a bad game of telephone. Something is seen, and then the way it transfers into the coaching or into what an athlete does is not really what the person who was educating intended it to be. So sometimes it's just a matter of great tools and bad use. The speed training and athletic development program should really be focused on decreasing injury, improving performance, and then increasing a feeling of accomplishment with athletes. What usually happens, and the problem is that sometimes it can lead to injuries, leads to burning athletes out, and it's not really a long-term strategy. It's sometimes looked at as short-term means, and that ends up making it not very beneficial. So if we look at the traditional mindset of training and bodybuilding, and all the two pictures on the left, training on machines where you're sitting down, doesn't really look like any of the pictures on the right, like sports, and even movement and activity in life. So what we try to get people to think about is not just what they're going to do in the gym, because those are kind of sports within themselves, fitness, bodybuilding, and powerlifting. We want to try to look at what the sport, the skill, or just even an activity in daily life, what those things are, and how we can use training to enhance that. So it kind of leads me to this idea of core training. And usually when I speak to a group, I'll ask the question, what is training the core? Does everybody know what core training is? And usually I get answers like, oh, you have to do a lot of sit-ups. And really that's not what the abs are made to do. They're not designed to flex you. You really don't do crunches anywhere on an athletic field, and certainly you don't do them in life unless you're just doing crunches. Your abs and your torso, your core basically, is made to create posture, to enhance your stability, to protect your spine, and to transfer energy from your upper body to your lower body. So why do we need the six-pack to do all those crunches? Do we really need that? Is that really what's going to help our abs or our body in general just to perform better on the field or just in daily life? So here is kind of the goal of a performance training program from our perspective. This is a great performance pyramid put together by a guy named Gray Cook. Movement is the biggest thing. We need to have a good base foundation of movement first. If someone doesn't have good movement skills and we add performance on top of that, we're going to create more problems. So performance would be the second thing. That would be our strength, our conditioning, our speed. And then on top of that is skill, where this kind of progression rarely happens. Usually we just go out and play a sport. I remember when I was a kid, we went outside and just started throwing the ball around. We didn't learn how to run. We didn't learn how to move. And if you don't have good quality movement skills, usually it's going to lead to decreases in performance and in the worst case scenario, an injury. So I love this quote, don't look for a positive until you remove all the negatives. So a lot of times in sports training and strength and conditioning, everybody's always looking to get stronger, get bigger, get more powerful, improve their speed, where maybe there are some underlying things that we need to work on and make sure are cleared out in our movement patterns before we go ahead and do that. So that's a key for us in all of our programs and what we address in our warm-up most of the time. Then that leads us to our kind of list of how we develop a program. Movement preparation is our warm-up. Movement skills is our speed, our acceleration, our multi-directional speed and agility. Power could be anything from plyometrics to Olympic lifts. Our strength training is what's typically done in the weight room. And then the endurance is our conditioning, and we do definitely stress our recovery and nutrition as being as important as any of these concepts, as these, for our keys to a successful performance training program.